It's working. The YouTube. Yeah. Namandam, 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 namandam. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our January Shotsuki Hoyo monthly memorial and adult Dharma service. I hate to interrupt. It's like I could hear people started talking more and they're getting into it, but we can do that afterwards. For now, we'd like to begin the Shotsuki Hoyo, and I'd like to read the names of those who've passed away in the month of January. Haruko Ajari, Emi Calkins, Masumi Deguchi, Shichigoro Doi, Ichiro Endo, Fumiko Fuji, Arata Fujikawa, Chika Takasaki Fujikawa, Jin Fujikawa, Tom Fujimoto, Shizue Furuyama, Kenji Hayashida, Mei Hayashida, Jun Hiramatsu, John Hiramoto, Shizue Hirota, George Hoshide, Takeshi Ikeda, Dean Inokuchi, George Inoue, Masao Inoue, Hiroko Ito, John Itoda, Tatsuo Kanagaki, Norikazu Kaneko, Chiyono Kanzaki, Tsurunosuke Kase, Marion Kato, Harry Kawabata, Kamenosuke Kawabe, Kanjuro Kawabe, Yoshiaki Kawaoka, Charles Kawasaki, Pauline Kawasaki, Sadano Kayatani, Ikuzo Kido, Yuri Kido, Hajime Kihara, Kihara ancestors, Hisao Kimura, Kojiro Kimura, Tanegusu Kimura, Toku Kimura, Suna Kinoshita, Yoshimi Kishi, Suematsu Kitagaki, Shuntaro Kiyota, Yoshio Kobata, Konami Kobori, Shizue Koyama, Misato Kuramoto, Shigenobu Kuramoto, Sugie Kuroki, Tsuru Kua, Kuniko Masuda, Sueme Masuoka, Linda Matsutani, Urae Miyamoto, Fujie Mizusaki, Tomiko Mizuki, Tsunao Mizuki, Kayo Murakami, Yoshita Murakawa, Leslie Muranishi, Jitsujiro Nakahara, Kichi Nakahara, Seijiro Nakanishi, Fusa Nakano, Chizuko Nakashima, Mieko Nakatani, Yoshie Nakatani, Yuao Dan Nakatani, Fujio Narasaki, Tagaichi Negi, Tomiko Neishi, Jakusho Nita, Violet Nobori, Dorothy Nomiyama, Dick Nomura, Frank Norimoto, Suekichi Ochikubo, James Ogawa, Kato Okai, Yuki Okawa, Kiku Okawa, Otono Okawachi, Yoshio George Oto, Joe Otsuka, John Raymer, Kikue Sakamoto, Faith Sasaki, Fumio Sasaki, Gunbei Sasaki, Hisaka Sasaki, Jingoro Sasaki, Ishino Sasaoka, Otome Satake, Yaoichi Satake, Tomie Satake, Ura Sawada, Ben Toshio Seiji, Shizuko Seiji, Toshio Shibata, David Shigematsu, Toku Shimamoto, Kyoko Shimao, Fumie Shinomoto, Kume Shiozaki, Wendy Shiroma, Miles Suda, Kenji Suzuki, Osamu Takahashi, Hazue Takeda, Koki Takeda, Mary Takemoto, Shizuko Tamori, Yoshihiro Tamori, Tomiko Tamura, Sumi Tanaka, Tamotsu Tani, Hisaichi Taniguchi, Mitsui Tanisawa, Tsuneno Tanisawa, Yoshiko Tanisawa, Chieko Tanita, Yoshie Tanita, Lily Yuriko Terusaki, Yoshiko Teraura, Fumi Toraora, Sachiko Toyofuku, Hisajiro Tsuboi, Mareo Tsuchiya, Takenori Tsuchiya, Genkichi Tsujimoto, George Kumao Tsushima, Totaro Umemoto, Yukie Utsurogi, Hyozo Yamamoto, Katsuko Yamamoto, Kenneth Shigeo Yamamoto, Masako Yamamoto, Ted Yamamoto, Kihei Yamane, Tsurukichi Yamane, Toshio Yamashita, Yosaku Yamashita, Yoshie Yamato, Toyotaro Yanagi, Tomo Yasukawa, Kemi Yi, Motomi Yokomizo, Shelly Yuto, Toshiyuki Yuto. Okay, next we will have Sutra chanting, and we will chant Sanbutsuge, which is on page 22 in the small book and page 79 in the big purple book. Namandab, 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 namandab. gen gi ijin mugok nyo zen myo muyo tosha nichi ga tsuma ni shuko en yo kai shitsu onpei yun yaku jumok nyorai yogen chose murin shogaku daion koru jippo kaimon shojin sammai chie itoku muryo shishoke jintai zennen shobutsu hokai gujin jin no kugo gaitai mumyo yokunu seson yomu nim no shishi jin toku muryo kukun kodai chie jin myo komyo iso shindo dai sen ganga sabuts zai shoho kado shoji mi fugedatsu fusejoi kainin shojin nyoze sammai chie ijo gosei tokubutsu fugyo shigam isai kuku isadayan keshi ubutsu yakusen okuman muryo daisho shinyo goja kuyo isai shito shobutsu funyo gudo kensho fukyak hinyo goja shobutsu sekai bufu kake mushu setsudo komyo shisho hen shisho kok nyoze shojin ijin nanyo ryoga sabutsu 国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国如内音任務闘争がと愛民道脱一切実法来生心熱症状意図が国経楽安の好物神妙是が心象発願の非力少所欲実法生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信行軽量諸因諸諸求読中画行諸人人寿不敬ダマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等性際道本菩提心往生安楽国ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナマンダナマンダナマンダうるさいね noisy out there. Next, let's recite the three treasures. I know we did it this morning, but we can do it for our Shotsuki service. And it's on page 3 in the small purple book. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not live ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow and the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha, May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namo. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Let me spotlight myself. Okay. So during the sutra chanting, towards the end, I kind of made a mistake, huh? Did you notice? I mispronounced a couple of things. And that's because I was thinking about Barbie. I just saw the Barbie movie last night for the first time. And so I was, chanting, and then I started thinking, oh yeah, Barbie. Oh yeah, I didn't see it in the theater, but in the theater, they had like a big Barbie box that you could go in and take pictures in, and some of the people working there got like special Barbie kind of outfits, and I was like, I wonder, did you have to wear the Barbie outfit if you worked, or was it optional? And then I realized I was starting to mess up the sutra chanting. So I had to stop thinking about Barbie, right, and get back to thinking about sutra chanting. So that's one example of trying to be in the now and not thinking ahead, right? This is my earlier talk, right? Not get stuck behind. But I'm not going to talk about it too much, but just the Barbie movie was really interesting. I tried to get my friend to watch it, and he wasn't so impressed. That's like a week or two after it came out. And then I never watched it, even though I kind of pushed him into watching it. So I was happy to be able to watch the movie, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know if it's really for kids, huh? I don't know if kids would like it, but it's pretty impressive film. Have anyone seen it? Nobody in here is. Oh, you no? Okay. It's really well done. Here's the thing. There's a lot of Buddhism in it. I don't know if the director, the writer, really meant for that, but I think probably so, because it's pretty amazing how much there is. She lives in Barbie land. Every day is perfect. Every day ends with girls' night. And then the next day, and it's all perfect, and all the Barbies say hi to each other, and but then all of a sudden she starts having these other thoughts, and things don't start going so well. So like for one example is I'm not going to give away too much, but she just gets her juice, and then walks by the toaster, and the toast just pops out and lands on the plate, and the egg comes out and lands on the plate, and she goes to drink, and there's no liquid. She just drinks with no liquid because it's Barbie land, right? But on this day, the toast comes out and it's all burnt, and the egg kind of flies in the other direction or whatever. So things start going wrong, right? Life isn't perfect anymore in Barbie land. And then that's the rest of the movie, of her trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so I'm not recommending the film necessarily, but if you do watch it, keep an eye out for the Buddhism in it. Her life, I think, is like Shakyamuni Buddha as the prince, right? I mentioned earlier, the first part of his life, he's a prince. His father wants to shield him from all suffering, so he never has any suffering. He never experiences any loss. He never gets sick. It's just this perfect life. And then something happens, and he realizes that's not all there is to life. I have to go find out. Right now, I realize it's not all happy. It's that I can, people get sick, they die, right? And so Shakyamuni, or he's not Shakyamuni yet, the prince Siddhartha goes off on this quest. Right? And so that's kind of what Barbie does too in this film. She goes off on a quest to figure out what's going on, right? Trying to figure out what's going on. So one thing that it kind of made me realize is, in her case, and maybe in Buddha's case, something pushes them to go on this quest. Right? Something pushes them to look for something more. Right? Is it just this life I've been leading, or is there more to it? I didn't grow up Buddhist, right? I didn't encounter Buddhism till later in my life. And so I was kind of thinking, I think for Barbie's case is dukkha, which we often translate as suffering, but sometimes dissatisfaction, right? That maybe, can't I just be happy all the time? Can't it just be perfect all the time? What's going on? Why am I not satisfied? And embarking then to find out, well, what's going on? Why? And so Buddha gives us answers. For me, I was just so fortunate to just hear about Buddhism when I was in college. Right? I'd never heard of it before, but when I came out here, I've told you the story before maybe, when I came out to visit my friend in California, his parents, they live in Saratoga, which is near San Jose and Palo Alto, right? And they're members of the Palo Alto Buddhist temple, and so they took me there, and I heard the Dharma. I heard a Dharma talk, and then boom, this like light bulb went off. I was like, whoa, what's that? That sounds really interesting. Right? That was when I was 20, maybe 19. And then the next 5 years of my life was kind of searching. And fortunately, I found Institute of Buddhist Studies. I found Buddhist Churches of America and moved out here to go to school. That's 1996, I moved out here. Okay? So for me, it was a path where I was able to hear the Dharma, not because I was suffering so much, but I was questing in a way. I was looking for something. Trying to figure out who am I. I grew up, my father's white Anglo-Saxon and my mother was Japanese. I was fortunate to live both in, East Coast, America, Massachusetts, and also in Tokyo, right? And so I was aware of both the sides of myself in a way, of part kind of like white American, but also half white, half Japanese American, and also being that in Japan and not being Japanese, but trying to learn Japanese, and it was a lot, right? It was kind of a lot to go through. In a way, I was very fortunate. That's part of my story and part of who I am. That's why when I started, like when we chant, if it has the Chinese characters on there, like in the book, if you have the big book, and then it has the hiragana next to them, right? I could read that when I came to IBS because I studied Japanese. Wow, I never knew why I was studying Japanese other than just to kind of satisfy my parents, and that didn't happen. But then later on, whoa, I can read this stuff? I can actually use it? Cool. And now I want to learn about Buddhism, and now I have to study Japanese more so I can read about Buddhism in Japanese. Right? But I was given those tools. I was so fortunate. So that's a kind of another aspect of this. Barbie doesn't go through these things in the movie just because of her. There are other people involved. There's someone in the real world who's she's intimately connected with, right? And then all these other people too. And so similar with me, the path that I was able to embark on wasn't just me. It was my parents. So much of it was tied to my parents. My mother being Japanese, my father working in Japan, being able to be there, being able to go there, them wanting to give me that experience of living there. Because I was born there actually, but I left when I was 1. I only lived there for a year, and we moved to Massachusetts. But then when I was 11, we moved back, right? And I lived there for 6 more years. I got to try to learn Japanese. I got to experience Japanese culture. I got to eat lots of amazing Japanese food. And so, I was given that opportunity by my parents. I've actually did a funeral for someone, 6, 7 years ago now. And during the otoki, while we're eating lunch after, he said, "Are you related to Harry Bridge of MITRE, the Badge Project?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I work on the same project. Do you know this person?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember him." So kind of randomly, right? Wow, someone working on the same project my dad worked on. So it wasn't just my dad being like, "I want to go to Japan." He was there because of all these causes and conditions, right? Because of a variety of things happening. Some, positive, some maybe we wouldn't see so positive. It was military stuff. It was radar and Air Force related, and depending on how you view that. But that my experience wasn't just about me. My life, my experience is me and my parents, my dad's coworkers, both of their families, all the experiences that they had, friends, extended family, teachers. When I think back to going to high school in Japan, I've said in the first service, I wasn't a good student at all. I can make excuses, I can try and find reasons for that, but the reality is I wasn't a good student. But I had some amazing teachers, right? And teachers that influenced me and made me, one teacher in particular made me think, maybe I could be a teacher. That might be kind of cool. He's really cool. He has this great influence on people. Maybe I could do that. And I didn't follow that, but in a way I did, because I kind of am a teacher, right? I'm an associate professor at Institute of Buddhist Studies, teaching a class a semester. Being a minister has, teaching aspect. So, all these things, all these aspects are part of me, part of who I am, and yet more than that. We lose people all the time, right? We lose loved ones. This past year at BCO, we lost some really kind of foundational people. And I don't like to single people out. It's not like some people are better than others, but just thinking kind of institutionally, some of the people we lost last year were really, really important people to the church. Especially, I'll single out Reverend Dr. Seigen Yamaoka as someone who passed away last month. And we're going to have his funeral not next weekend, but the weekend after that. And we'll be sending out a notification soon to the membership. But I think about him too, and just that me being here is so amazing, right? The fact that I'm able to be here isn't because I'm special. It's not because, well, I'm kind of special, but it's not only because of that, right? It's because of so many more people. And I'm so fortunate to have been here. I finally figured it out. I must have done my internship 1999 to 2000 because I have that New Year's picture. There's a picture of me and Yamaoka Sensei from New Year's Day, and he's wearing white robe. I didn't wear it today, but I'll wear it at the funeral. This kind of orange gojo. He's wearing that, and I'm just wearing wagesa, fuho wagesa. And the picture shows 1999 on it. I'm so glad he put that on. John Yamamoto, another person who took pictures, and he'd make this. It has a rabbit on it because it was Year of the Rabbit, 1999, I guess. And no, I was here longer than that. So yeah, so I must have been here 1998 into 1999, right? So I know that. This is how bad my memory is, right? It's only, 23 years ago, 24 years ago? But I also remember when my mom died. And she died late June 2000. And I remember being in the office and talking to Yamaoka Sensei and Shigeko, right? And I just remember their support enabled me to get through it in a way. I had to leave right away and I had to fly back to Massachusetts to try to help my dad take care of things. And so even thinking about, this is my loss, my family, no connection to BCO, and yet connection. Right? Thinking, actually, Yamaoka Sensei, I always thought kind of resembled my dad, even though my dad was white and Yamaoka Sensei was Japanese, right? But there was this kind of resemblance, physical resemblance maybe. And so, thinking about those things and thinking back, right? In the first service, I talked about there's one view of the past is done, future never comes, it's now. But there's another of, no, the past is part of who I am. Right? And I am who I am because of all these connections, because of all these people. So I don't want to make it all about me. It's Shotsuki, this monthly memorial, and so I know many of you are here because you've lost someone that passed in this month, right? And I read the names at the beginning, and so hearing that name again, right? Thinking about them, bringing them to mind. Right? That maybe if you can think back, when I read that name, what popped into your head? What kind of thoughts popped in? Sometimes it's painful, right? Sometimes to think about that person can hurt. right? That's okay. Right? That of course it hurts when we lose a loved one, right? Whether you knew them for a few years or knew them for decades, right? That having this person in your life to think about, realize, yes, they've passed away. They're no longer here physically with us, right? But there's also, I'm sure, other thoughts popped into your head too. One family member, in a different month told me when I said the name, they started smelling food, right? Because that person, for them, when they'd go to visit, they always had food on, going, and so you walk in and you smell all that food. So hearing that name and food, smell, popped into their mind, right? So maybe that's one way we can kind of think about Shotsuki. When you heard that name, what popped into your head? And sit with it. Right? That if it's painful, sometimes we got to put it away, and we can't. But if you can, I think that's really important to hold all those feelings we have about this loved one or these loved ones that we've lost in this month, and realize, wow, they had such an impact on my life. Maybe you didn't even get to spend that much time with them, and yet profound impact, right? Profound part of who you are. Similar to how I'm talking about, the people in my life, right? So that each one of us, and throughout the day, can think about them, maybe talk about them, right? Share memories if you can, if you have someone to share the memories with, or just hold them in your heart is fine too. Yeah. And it's not that you don't do that on other days, but this special occasion, right? Our Shotsuki Hoyo, right? This monthly memorial service, special service, giving us the chance to bring them to mind, to think about them, and honor them. It's kind of like a tribute to them. And that's one of my favorite things about Shotsuki is being able to say these names. We have the book right on the altar, and to be able to have this special day to think about them and think about them in the context of our own lives. So thank you very much for joining us. Why don't we conclude the Dharma talk with Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Should we sing Ondok-san 2? Ondok-san 2 is in the small purple book on page 76, or I think some of you have it memorized. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, thank you. Let's turn it over to Robert Noguchi for announcements.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Buddhist Church of Oakley. I have a few announcements, and I seem to be echoing back into my system.
So turn off your speaker.
Oh, good thinking.
Yep, I think should be good.
Okay, how's that?
Much better.
Is that better?
Yes. Oh, you can't hear because the speaker's off. Dun-ch.
I'm sorry, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's first want to thank Reverend Bridge for his Dharma Talk and officiating today's service. Reverend Michael Endo for assisting wing of the service. Steve Terasaki for playing the organ. Thank you. The host 10 group providing hospitality to those of us here at the temple, and the Zoom crew for the presentation and the YouTube broadcast. Dharma School resumes. Well, I guess it's supposed to be next weekend, but I guess maybe that'll be another day. So please check the website, or the Dharma School students, parents will be notified about the next day. Next Sunday is Honko, the memorial service for our founder, Shinran Shonin, and that'll be next Sunday, the 14th at 10 a.m., followed by an otoki lunch, the first one for 2024. Hope you'll join us. Study class and Dharma chat will be Saturday the 27th from 1 to 3 p.m., and Dharma chat on Sunday the 28th, 10:45, following service. Hope you'll join us for that. If you'd like to be part of the BCO family, become a member, and you can inquire at the BCO office or see the Sangha community brochure downstairs in the lobby. Thank you very much for supporting the Buddhist Church of Oakland. We accept any donations of any size. We appreciate them and accept them. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support. And with that, I'll send it back to Sensei.
Thank you, Robert. This will conclude our January Shotsuki monthly memorial and adult Dharma service. Thank you for joining us. You can come up in Oshoko if you haven't had a chance already. And I hope you can hang out and enjoy each other's company on this beautiful day. So let's conclude with Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.